In today's video, we're going to go through the key tools and features of SketchUp to get you creating amazing 3D models. If you're a beginner, I recommend that for now you stick with the web version of SketchUp. All of the tools and features we will go through today are on there, but once you have a bit more experience you can get a free trial of the Pro version, but also look out for a video on the channel on how to get a desktop version for free. When starting SketchUp, the first thing you need to be aware of are the X, Y and Z axes, the blue, green and red lines. When I draw a line, you can see it snaps to an axis, staying parallel until I move away and the line goes back to its standard colour. For now, I'm going to delete the person that SketchUp always automatically loads with you. It gives you a sense of scale, but we won't be needing this today. To delete it, you can either right click on the object and select Erase, or you could use the rubber tool, or just click on the object and press delete on your keyboard. Before we start drawing, it is important to know the movement tools. All the items along this top bar are grouped into categories such as drawing, editing and movement. The key movement tools are orbit, pan, zoom and zoom extent. Whilst orbiting, you can quickly change to the pan tool by holding shift on your keyboard. Zoom is pretty self-explanatory, but zoom extent will take your viewpoint out to your whole model. A few more movement tools can be found under the camera drop down. You can position your camera to an eye-line level, and then use the look around and walk tool to allow you to move around your model at eye height. Three perspectives are also offered under the camera drop-down: parallel projection, which is good for cross sections, perspective and two-point perspective. Play around with these as they are useful to know when exporting images. As we've seen, the line tool is the main drawing tool that you'll probably be using, but under this is the freehand tool, which allows you to draw loose lines. I don't find myself using this much. The arc tool offers 4 options. I use the 2-point arc most, as it's useful for curving corners of shapes. When the line turns a purple colour, it means that your 2 points you've placed are of an equal distance apart, along the face. As you can see, once I've drawn the arc, it remains just a line. I can then use the line tool to enclose this and the shape is filled in. Other shapes like rectangles are already filled in once you draw them. To draw any tool from this drop down, you have to create 2 points. For the circle, for example, you can see it is snapped on the ground plane as it is highlighted blue, and when I click I can drag out from the middle and you can see the radius of the circle I am creating in the bottom right corner. If you are unsure of how to use a tool, the instructor panel can also provide tips. It is also useful to know that when you're drawing you can press the escape key to cancel any drawing. You can also undo a drawing by pressing Ctrl Z, and redo it with Ctrl Y. As you can see, when I move my mouse, it snaps around my shapes. This is useful as it acts as a guide when drawing. My mouse snaps to the centre of a circle and centre points of an arc. A red square appears when you're dragging your mouse along a line. Blue circles are also used for a line's midpoint, and a blue rhombus is shown when you're dragging your mouse along a face. Whilst I move about my mouse, dashed lines appear, highlighting parallel lines and extensions. If you're adding more detail to your models, the text tool can be really handy. Under the tools drop-down menu, there are 2 text options. 3D text allows you to create what it says on the tin, 3D text. You can change the font, text height and depth, and later edit the colour. You can also double click on the 3D text to add further colour changes using the paint bucket tool. The standard text tool is useful for adding dimensions to a drawing. Just click a start and then an end point as I'm doing here, and then type the dimension or anything else you'd like. SketchUp offers an array of visual effects. Under the materials panel you can choose from colours, metals, bricks and more to add detail to your model. To make it more realistic, you can use the shadow tool by pressing this white box. You can easily adjust the date and time, as well as the strength of the light and dark effects. The final key effect is Design Styles, which offers you different options of changing the look of your scene. You can further change these with the Edit tab, allowing you to turn off edges and profiles, changing the colour of lines, faces, and also the background, for example. You can create 3D shapes with the Line tool, using the XYZ axes as a guide. You'll find that when creating 3D shape, you'll use the Push-Pull tool often. This can be done by selecting the face and dragging. You can also type the dimensions you would like, as they appear in the bottom right of the screen. Under the Tools drop-down menu, the Follow Me tool allows you to extrude a 2D shape along a pre-drawn path, as you can see here. The 3D Warehouse also offers a significant library of pre-made 3D models ready to import. But as we've said in the previous video, try not to overload your model with objects from the warehouse, as it can generate a lot of lag. Going along the top bar here, I'm going to start with the Offset tool. This allows you to create a copy of the face outline at a specified distance from the perimeter. This is really handy for creating windows and door frames. As in the name, the Move tool allows you to move objects. You can select a whole object and move it, or you could just select one line of an object and the Move tool will deform your existing shape. Again, the Rotate tool is pretty self-explanatory. When the protractor shows up blue, as it is here, it's along the ground plane, but it can also show up green and red linking to those other axes, or black which has no link to an axis. First, you have to click on an anchor point for the protractor, and then you can select the first point at which your rotation will begin, and then move your mouse around the protractor to the degree that you would like. You can also type the degree in the dimension box to the right. The Scale tool is also simple. Just select the lines and faces that you would like to change, and then scale your object. Holding Shift ensures that the object retains its shape whilst you change your scale, but releasing allows you to deform it. Now you should have a well-rounded understanding of the SketchUp Basics. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, and make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.